Hello everyone, welcome back to the Testament of Sherlock Holmes. Uh, Last episode we found out the bishop that we were, uh, the last episodes, part 2, 3 and 4, are about this bishop who we found dead in his diocese. Sherlock Holmes had been invited to meet with him, and when he arrives there, surprise, surprise, the bishop is dead, mutilated, tortured, and apparently nothing is missing. But the reverend who works with him has a secret family, and he kept it hidden under this chess sort of puzzle game. So Sherlock, for some reason, wanted to keep the police at bay, only trusting Inspector Barnes, I think it is his name. Correct me if I'm wrong. And as they couldn't find the inspector he wanted, he just bailed before the police arrived, because the Reverend was all the time, "Oh, let's call the police, let's call the police, let's call the police," not letting Sherlock work. And, well, let's see what happens next. Okay. Analyze the clues. Oh my gosh. Scalpel.
Tooth marks, rather deep ones. I'd say of incisors and a canine. Fragments of skin, a phalanx. This finger wasn't cut off, it was ripped off. Fragments of skin. I can see something. I can see something. Black and damp earth under the nail. Interesting. I can see something.
Brush, scalpel. It's not with pincers. Acid. Water, nope.
No, I can't do that.
Good. He tells me if I'm wrong.
No, I can't do that.
Bite marks on this severed finger. I am afraid of the significance.
The thieves didn't get what they wanted. When they were faced with the bishop's refusal to cooperate, one of the gang shook his finger at him to indicate that he was responsible for his unfortunate state.
And the poor man, whose head was the only part of him not bound by ropes, bit the finger violently enough to sever it. An uncommonly savage act.
Watson, I am certain that when we have explained the reasons behind this sudden bestiality, we will have revealed a larger part of the mystery.
Okay.
No, I can't do that. There is something written on this scalpel. I should clean it. No, I can't do that.
Okay. Maybe.
No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that.
Okay, that was enough.
Ah, I can make out WCCH. What do the initials stand for? How many hospitals are there in the Whitechapel area, Watson?
If we count public dispensaries, enough to keep us busy for an entire month. Did this scalpel come from a hospital?
Yes, as the initials WCCH engraved upon it show us. We must think on how best to deal with this. We do not have the time to investigate every hospital in Whitechapel.
Okay, maybe it's not Whitechapel, Holmes.
This fragment of stone is very smooth, and it seems to be of a peculiar quality. I shall have to strip it with one of my products. I can see something. This stone is granite, covered in black paint.
No.
I have cut a small piece off the rope. That should be enough. This rope is only worn on one side. I can't do that. I can't do that. A lot of fragments of black stone are wedged into this rope. Their color seems unnatural, but they are too small for me to examine them. These small stones resemble the pieces found in the footprints at the bishop's house. Granite painted black. Black and damp earth. This rope is only worn on one side. This rope, I must compare the samples of earth that I found. I must compare the samples of... And if I mix this earth with another substance... I can't do that. I can't do...
Water, maybe?
Now it must all be stirred. The samples of earth taken from beneath the fingernail and from the ropes originate from the same place.
How do you know?
It took just a little water to analyze the consistency. The soil has retained its moisture, even though there hasn't been rain in London for over a week.
This soil could come from the bank of a river, or somewhere where the evaporation is slower. A mine, perhaps, or a trench.
The banks of the Thames are clay soil, unlike our samples, so we can rule that out. The nearest mines are 12 miles away, so I would rule that out also. I would therefore conclude your last theory to be nearer the mark.
A trench?
A pit. Watson, bring me your register of the London hospitals.
Studying the scalpel has given you an idea, then?
Indeed.
I'll get it.
Okay. I know it's not realistic, but...
Here is where I write my stories about Holmes's cases. And I've got work to do.
I could swear it would be here, but okay. Oh. The Marquis's fake necklace. At the moment of writing these lines, the famous Seymour necklace belonging to the Marquis of Cunningham has still not been recovered. Our editorial staff remains reserved as to the role that the famous detective Sherlock Holmes has played in the affair, for this is not the first time that Mr. Holmes has compromised himself during the course of one of his so-called investigations. When recalling the second Stain case, the affair is indeed strangely similar to the Marquis of Cunningham's necklace misfortune. Indeed, Mr. Trelawney Hope, Secretary of State for European Affairs, had a document of extreme value in his safe box which had been stolen but a few days earlier. Who, if not Sherlock Holmes, could have replaced the document in Mr. Hope's safe? What was the point of the trick? It was evident that Sherlock Holmes knew the identity of the person blackmailing the gentleman's wife, Lady Hilda Trelawney Hope, guilty of a love affair with another man. The sinister blackmailer, a certain Lucas, had a letter that revealed Lady Trelawney Hope's double life. He wanted the Secretary of State's wife to give him the previous document belonging to her husband in exchange for the love letter. She obeyed him. But then Lucas was found murdered, and Mr. Holmes managed to find the compromising letter without any difficulty on the crime scene after it had been meticulously searched by the police. Does that not strike you as strange? Mr. Holmes knew where the hiding place was, without any doubt. As to the motive for the murder, no need to ask who might profit from the crime, eradicate a cumbersome accomplice, and thus appear as a hero in the eyes of the authorities. Evidently, the transcription of the affair undertaken by Mr. Holmes's friend, Dr. Watson, gives another explanation entirely, but is he truly objective? We may allow ourselves a little doubt on that score. O. Farley. What is this? Oh, safecracker. It would make a highly efficient criminal, really. Pea souper. Moonshine is a brighter thing than fog, but this is a pea souper. You ask for help a great deal.
Read
Okay.
the paper, Holmes.
Um, he'll read.
And this is how my dear friend and colleague treats his clients' letters. And this... Hospitals and dispensaries in London. I have found my book, Holmes.
Good. Put it on the work table, will you?
Okay, where is the work table? Oh.
Here is the section showing Whitechapel. I made several notations on these pages during our investigation into the Ripper, which might prove useful. All we need to do is to find a hospital or a public dispensary near a location where pits have been dug and black granite has been used.
It's simplicity itself. I haven't finished my analysis.
Okay. The rope is worn only on one side. The rope was manufactured with a one side. The rope was always used from the same side. The rope was used near water and it has rotted. The damp earth brought in by the Bishop of Knighton's killers. The soil is from a pit, a well, a riverbank. Rope used for tying up boats. The rope is used in a well. Rope is used to lower something into a pit. I'll leave it like that right now, for now. The fragment of granite painted black. The fragment comes from a monument painted black. This fragment comes from a painted rock. This fragment comes from a granite wall painted black. The earth and the fragment of granite came from a building. The earth and the stone came from a pit near a monument. The earth and the fragment of granite came from a cave. The earth, rope, and the fragment of granite came from a grave. The undergoing rebuilding in the grave. Yes. Something is wrong in my... not okay from a building. Monument? Oh, wow. Great help. It's near a grave.
Now I can make the right decision.
Wow! Really did it. The rope was always used from the same side, of course.
The public dispensary number 4661. It's just opposite the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
Yes, Watson. The murderer with the missing finger must work in the cemetery, or at least visit it. He could have taken a rope, one of the type they use to lower the coffins into the graves. The granite is minute particles of tombstone.
And he only had to cross the road to steal a scalpel from the dispensary opposite.
But why all this trouble? Why someone would go through all this trouble?
I need something.
Oh?
No, it is unnecessary.
Oh! Okay, what's the... To analyze the evidence, add liquid from the test tube. Use all active agents to work out all of its characteristics. 3. Oh my gosh, I'll have to do this again. 2. Okay. Okay, now pay attention. 2, 3. Okay. 3 green and 3 this.
I must analyze the clues.
Oh, 1. I didn't notice this one.
Poison, and apparently very virulent.
Results of the analysis of the poison administered to Bishop of Knightsbridge. A substance that provokes a heightened aggression, close to madness, death by cardiac arrest.
Poison. Discreet, efficient, and only detectable via a thorough post-mortem.
Have you been able to isolate the active components, Holmes?
Not with any certainty. This toxic substance surpasses my own knowledge in the field. It is without doubt the work of an expert chemist.
A chemist and a criminal.
As you say, please find my monograph on poisoners of the last 30 years.
General practitioner? That won't be of any use to me. Female anatomy? I should put this book somewhere else. This bust was used to fool Colonel Moran during the case of the empty house.
Oh my gosh. So Scotland Yard, Hans-Jean Radkeller, national German, birth in Stuttgart, where prison sentenced life. Found guilty of the following charges: poisoning, attempted poisoning, theft, and receiving chemical substances, murder and attempted murder, kidnapping with aggravated circumstances, cruelty to animals, hit and run, illegal use of chemicals, manipulation of the weak, drunk, in charge. History and description of the individual. Despite numerous mental problems and neuroses, Hans Schulman is an exceptional chemist and an equally remarkable mathematician. At the age of 21, his unstable and violent character resulted in his expulsion from the University of Vienna, where he had excelled in his chosen subjects. After being expelled, he was not heard of again for 4 years. He was captured and arrested in June 1864 during the case number X2552A, the Stuttgart poisoning, in which he was the principal suspect. He escaped before being sentenced and vanished again. A number of elements suggested he had found refuge in London. An investigation undertaken by Scotland Yard found him living under the stolen identity of one Leonardo Itiza. It is, yeah. However, the officers who came to arrest him were poisoned and he escaped once again. Our informants picked up his trail again in 1980 at an ancient factory converted into a clandestine chemical laboratory. Schumann was absent during the search. From the documents found inside the laboratory, we learned he had a diabolical plan in mind. His goal was to poison the drinking water reservoirs in several parts of the city. To this day, his motives remain unclear. His arrest on 5 May 1888 was due entirely to chance. He was recognized by a police officer while stumbling around in a state of inebriation, shouting of his intention to poison the entire city. None of the interrogations following his arrest have provided any conclusive information. Hans Schumann broke his silence only with incoherent comments. Okay, this is a good place to stop. I'll see you next time, and thank you for watching, as always.